Welcome back to the Victor 200. Today we've got Good in Tron. Conspiracy, you may pay 7 rather than the mana cost of spells you cast. Wow. Good in Tron is one of my favorite cards ever. At first glance, it looks pretty innocuous. You may pay 7. Great, why would I want to pay 7 instead of 1 for my Llanowar Elves, or for my Time Walk, or for my Black Lotus? And then you start looking at the cards actually in a cube. And you think, 7 mana really isn't that much mana. Like, sure, it's expensive. You don't want to be spending 7 mana on a 3 or 4 drop. But there's a 10 drop that we saw yesterday. Desolation Decouplet. You spend 7 mana, and then you get 10 10/10s. That's not bad. There's Emrakul and Memnite. This isn't one of the cards that I designed, but you might be able to guess what it does from its name. Spending 15 mana, that's pretty hard to do. You're usually cheating into play an Emrakul. Spending 7 mana in order to get a 16/16 Annihilator, 6 can't be countered, take an extra turn, flying. That's a pretty good deal. The key about Good in Tron is that it's a conspiracy. It's always around. You can build your entire deck knowing that anything that costs more than 7 mana in your deck, you can cast it for 7. Anything that costs a lot of colorless mana, say you've got a card that costs Wooburg. Well, if you're just playing a 1 or 2 color deck, maybe it's still worthwhile to cast it knowing you can spend 7 mana for it instead. It is such an interesting build around. In fact, I think in Hellscube 4, it's on the same power level as Power. I think you could justify taking Good in Tron over Mox Jet, because it's always there. Mox Jet is going to be in your opening hand, 7 out of 40. Maybe you'll mulligan, maybe you'll find it later in the game, when it's less useful. But Good in Tron, it's always there. In fact, if you've been on the Discord, and if you're not, you should come check it out, you'll know that for the past few years, my name has been Victor, Good in Tron. This is the favorite card that I've ever designed, and I doubt I will ever usurp it.